Welcome to the Budget software tutorial, part of the Water Systems package. To start, we will click on Water and Sanitation Design icon to have access to the main menu. The next step is to click on Execute in Budget in order to run the program. To illustrate how the program works, we're going to open an existing project. I have here an example. Initially, we have data from the community such as name, location, number of houses, the type of project, and the date. The next tab contains the data corresponding to the works that make up the project. Initially, we will have the list of our database, which can be changed either adding or removing works. In this column, we just enter the number of works according to our project design. To define fittings in the works, we have this table in which we must indicate the diameters of pipes in the inlet or the outlet. This data simply correspond to the design of the project. For the main pipeline, enter the data according to the design. We have to do the same for distribution network. Additionally, we have to enter the number of houses that are connected to each of the indicated diameters as well. By clicking on the tab of Community Contribution and Transport, we will have two tables. In the first one, we define the community contribution, which may be modified by clicking this button. To choose the materials or services that will be part of the community contribution, we can look for on this list, or we can do it in the easy way, only by typing a character string that contains the material that we're looking for. For example, I'm going to write SA to find sand and see that everything that contains these characters in list have been filtered so that we will make it easier to choose them and pass them on the community contribution list just by clicking this button. In this other table, we can already see the first calculation provided by the program, where we have quantities of materials for cement, stone, gravel, sand, pipes, iron, wood, and all those materials that need some type of transportation. To define the number of trips, either local or external to the community, the quantities are presented to us. We must also enter the unit price to obtain transportation cost. By clicking on the tab Others, we have two tables. One is to define the indirect cost of construction. In this table, we have the design, evaluation, purchase of land, training, project management, administration cost, monitoring, profits, etc., where we're going to define this cost either by lump sum or percentage of the direct cost of construction. In this other table, we have the distribution of the source of contribution to the budget of the project. In the first column, we have the requested to donors, the second one the community contribution, and the third one others, where we can assign the municipality contribution, for instance. The program will process this data to present a financial proposal for the project, which will be seen later. Finally, we have this box to define the tool's cost, represented as a percentage of the materials cost for each work. After enter all of this data, simply click on Reports. To have a full budget report starting with the calculation that corresponds to the works of the project, where we have materials, specialized labor, the unskilled, and the tools. For pipelines, we have the main pipeline and the distribution network cost. By clicking on the Budget tab, we see the project budget, which corresponds to the calculations that have been made on the basis of all information that we have provided. It is important to take note that it is divided into direct and indirect costs. By clicking on the Funding tab, we have a financial proposal whose total cost is the same as represented in the budget table. By clicking on Bill per component, we have materials for work where all the works that we have stipulated as part of the project are represented in this list with its respective materials, unit, and total prices. By clicking on Bill of Quantities tab, we have a summary of all the materials of the project where we find the type, the unit, and the quantity of materials or services, which will be very useful to prepare either our reports or the quotations during the purchase process. As final steps, we can save the project, for which I'm going to give the same name. We also can export to Excel if we want. Once exported, you can search in My Documents, Water Systems, Budget, Projects, and Budget Report Example. In this file, we will find exactly the same information that we had in the program report. The report in this format will help us to present our reports or to prepare proposals to submit to donors. This is all by now. Thank you for your attention and until next time.